Hi everyone. Um, I am giving my experience of coming into northern Spain as an expatriate. So, trying to give my experience on how it is being here. Most blogs I see are either of families with father mother together or single people who have no kids. So, I'm in a little bit of an interesting position and I wanted to give my perspective on how things are. For today, I am talking about cars. I am working full time, so where I work, I need a car. If I worked within the city, I could just use public transport or walk. I love how this place is so walkable. However, I work somewhere in the what would call the burbs outside of the city, and there is no bus to it, so I definitely need public transport to go there. So I decided to do my car search in tiers. I learned very quickly that the used car market here is very different from the United States used car market. Finding a $3,000 car, in this case, €3,000 car, not really. Most people hold on to their cars and take good care of them and use them, so it's very difficult to find very low cost beaters, as we call them in America. So I changed my strategy in that the first month that I'm here, I will be using rental cars, not every day, but maybe 2 to 3 times a week. I can go to the office, and the rest of the time I can work from home. Then from there, I will look into what they call a long-term rental. So these are rental cars that you can rent for 3 months to 12 months. I guess it's what we would call a lease in the United States. But usually leases are longer, like 12 a year to 2 years. I found a couple of companies that do 3 months, 6 months, even one that does 2 months, which is really amazing. So I'm going to spit out some names that might be worth looking into. The first one is called Bipi, and Bipi does 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, the works, and they have a good fleet of cars. They're usually, right now, they're the most inexpensive I've seen. One of the problems I've found with Americans is that sometimes they take a look at your license and they're like, we don't want to rent to you because you have an American license, or because we can't figure out how long you're working and we can't validate that you have a salary. So a lot of people who are doing digital nomads, so they don't have a Spanish income, or people who are retired and are doing the golden visa, because it's hard to prove your income within Spain, sometimes you get rejected by it. So if you can cross those hurdles, then it works. I think I was able to cross those hurdles, one, because I'm looking for a 3 month rental, so it's within my 6 month United States visa driver's license period. And second, I do have Spanish income because I'm working in the Spanish branch of my American company. Then there's Sixt, is also another company, and they don't, they are a bit more flexible. They're a little bit more expensive, but they're definitely more flexible. There's OK Mobility, which is also pretty good. Um, and then there is Wabi Car. One thing I found about Wabi Car is that they only work for people with EU licenses. So because I have an American license, I can't seem to rent from them. There's also Avis. And when I'm talking about price points, it depends on what you're renting. I've seen, at least with Bipi, that I'm really considering. I'm seeing manual cars. A 3 month manual car is looking about 200 to 300, depending on the small compact cars that I'm looking for. When I'm looking for an automatic, it's looking at more of the in the 500 range. And Sixt and OK Mobility is looking more in the 6 to 700 a month range. So that's a pretty chunky penny right there. And once I do that, what I'm hoping to do is to finish my driver's license exams in manual and then buy a manual car so that I can save some money on that. And pretty much that's what everybody drives. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people drive manual cars here. So while I'm trying to figure out that system, I will pay a expensive hit by doing those. Looking into car loans, talking to a couple of the other internationals here, car loans are a little bit tricky. Once again, you have to prove your Spanish income. There's just a whole lot of paperwork that needs to be done that most people I've talked to ended up choosing to pay the car outright. So a lot of Americans, what they did was that they took a personal line of credit at, yes, at an expensive, exorbitant rate, and then decided that they will pay the car off maybe in a year or two so that the interest rate hit is not so hard. The interest rate for car loans here is pretty high. So the difference is not too bad. In the United States, I remember doing car loans for 2-3%. Here I'm hearing it's more in the 10% range. And since personal line of credits are hitting 12-ish, maybe 15%, it's it's not that crazy. So it might be something worth looking into. And that's my experience about cars and where I am right now. I'm only 1 month in. So maybe in 3 months, I will come back with a completely different perspective on this.